Welcome to Tech Essentials and the top 3 AI trends today for January 2nd, 2026.
All right, let's talk about where AI is really at in 2026. We're going to cut through all the noise and focus on 3 huge strategic shifts that are defining the entire industry right now.
So first things first, let's tackle the big question that's on everyone's mind in boardrooms all over the world. AI has had this incredible, explosive couple of years just full of amazing possibilities. But is that initial excitement, that magic, is it running out? Is the honeymoon officially over?
Well, the answer we're hearing from investors, from executives, from pretty much everyone is a clear and simple yes. The era of just playing around and experimenting is done. It's being replaced by a much tougher, much more demanding reality. And that leads us right into our first major shift. We are moving from a world of hype to a world of hard return on investment. You can call it the great boardroom reality check, and believe me, it is changing everything. You see, the focus has completely shifted. What used to be about showing off cool demos and running little pilot programs is now all about proving real, actual financial value. The time for just, exploring possibilities is over. Now it's about scaling these things up into full deployments and getting serious about which vendors you're working with to get the best bang for your buck. And look, this isn't just a feeling in the air, it's direct pressure, and it's coming from the very top. As TechCrunch points out, it's the boards that are really driving this. They're the ones asking the tough questions, like, okay, what are we actually getting for the millions and millions we're spending on AI? Where's the value? So here's why this really matters. Accountability. That's the new name of the game. AI is no longer this special research project that gets to live in its own little bubble. Nope. It's now being scrutinized just like any other massive business investment, and it absolutely has to prove its worth. Now, this intense pressure for results is actually forcing the development of a whole new kind of AI. So if the big demand is for real results, what does the AI that delivers those results even look like? Well, we're moving way beyond simple chatbots to something much, much more capable. We're talking about a new AI workforce. It's time to meet your digital coworkers. And the star of this new workforce? It's the AI agent. Now, try to think of it less like a tool that you use and more like a team member that you delegate to. Seriously, it can understand a goal, figure out the steps it needs to take, and then use other software and tools all on its own to get the job done. This digital coworker idea, it is a huge leap forward. But agents aren't the only new kids on the block. We're seeing all these different kinds of AI models pop up. You've got small language models, or SLMs, and they're getting super popular because they're way cheaper, they're faster, and you can make them an expert in one specific thing, like legal documents or medical charts. And then, on the really cutting edge, you have world models. These are AIs that are literally learning the physics of the 3D world, which is absolutely critical if we're ever going to have truly smart robots and realistic simulations. So what's the big takeaway here? It means the future of work is being totally reshaped as we speak. AI is evolving from being this one general-purpose assistant into a whole team of specialized integrated coworkers, and each one has its own specific job to do. Okay, but to run this incredibly powerful new AI workforce, you need an absolutely insane amount of physical infrastructure. And that need has kicked off our third major shift, a global race for power. This is about what it actually takes to fuel this whole AI revolution. Because here's the dirty little secret. The engines of AI, these massive data centers, they are starting to slam right into hard physical limits. And the scale of this challenge is just immense. We're talking about the most basic resources here. In some of the most important places, there literally isn't enough electricity on the grid to power new centers. There isn't enough land to build these giant facilities. The heat they produce is this massive engineering nightmare. And on top of all that, there's a crazy global race just for the specialized hardware you need to run the whole thing. So this is quickly turning into a global strategic problem. It goes like this. Step 1, you've got the challenge, physical limits. That forces step 2, the response, a desperate search for some pretty radical new solutions. And that all leads to a new endgame. Nations and companies are now fighting to secure computing power, or compute, as a vital strategic resource, just like oil or semiconductors. And the solutions people are looking at, they sound like they're straight out of science fiction, but they are being taken very, very seriously. We're talking about putting data centers in space to solve the land and cooling problems. building dedicated nuclear power plants just for AI, and this rise of sovereign AI, where entire countries are building their own compute infrastructure so they don't have to rely on anyone else. And the point here is crucial. The race for AI dominance, it's not just about who has the smartest algorithms anymore. It has become a geopolitical struggle over physical things: resources, land, and, more than anything else, energy. So let's just quickly pull it all together. The three huge shifts defining the new AI frontier in 2026 are the relentless demand for hard ROI, the rise of a digital workforce, and the global race for the sheer power needed to run it all. And that really leaves us with one last question for you to think about. When you look at these three powerful forces, which one do you think is going to have the biggest impact on your job or on your company or your entire industry? Is it going to be the financial pressure, the changing nature of the workforce, or this huge geopolitical race for resources? Because at the end of the day, the biggest takeaway for 2026 is this: the future of AI isn't just being written in lines of code anymore. It's being decided in boardrooms that are demanding ROI, by the digital coworkers who are joining our teams, and in the global scramble for kilowatts.